Bart projected his but onto the big screen, but accidentally unlocked a phone hidden in the bushes. Homer sat in front of his computer early, ready to grab tickets, but all the tickets sold out in 1 second. They were all bought by a mysterious person named Scalper. Every single show after that was monopolized by the same person. Everyone was furious. To catch the scalper, the mayor brought in a criminal profiler. She swore she would bring the culprit to justice. Homer finally got tickets to the Nisa concert through a secret deal. On the day the family went to the show, everyone was blown away by the atmosphere, but Bart wasn't paying attention. He suddenly noticed there were way more security guards at the concert. A kind employee tipped him off. Bart realized the concert was actually a trap set by the police to catch the scalper.
Well, that's your sex receipt, miser. Also known as me.
It turned out Bart was the one hoarding all the tickets. He found that every exit was blocked by police. The profiler had already figured out it was a young boy. Bart started looking for a place to hide, but the profiler quickly traced the signal to his phone. Bart reluctantly tossed the phone away. He finally breathed a sigh of relief, but the police had already fished out the phone.
When we find the kid whose face unlocks this phone, we've found Seat Miser.
Every kid leaving had to go through facial recognition. Soon Bart was the only one left. Everyone glared at him, convinced he was the bad kid, but surprisingly he passed the facial recognition too. The profiler angrily threw her phone, but Lisa still suspected Bart.
By the way, the reason that phone didn't recognize me is because when I set up the facial recognition, I didn't use my face.
After Maggie was possessed by a demon, she found the sharpest knife in the house and walked toward Marge, but Homer snatched the knife away, intending to cut some furniture.
The family's getting in the way of Maggie money talking. I'll make them sleep with the fishes.
When Homer went outside, he didn't notice Marge's distress signals. Maggie kicked over the pile of blocks.
Now it's just you and me.
Marge broke free from her clothes, gathered her weapons, and immediately hid in the basement. She had just locked the door when Maggie arrived at the door with a knife. Unable to trick Marge into opening the door, she kicked it open herself. But as soon as she entered the basement, Marge fired a fire doll that hit Maggie, yet it didn't cause her any harm. The next moment, Maggie stepped on a crayon, and when she woke up, she was tightly bound by Marge with ropes. Marge picked up the photo album in an attempt to wake up Maggie. But while she was searching for happy family photos, Maggie had already cut the ropes with scissors. Luckily, Marge jumped onto the baby stroller. Marge fell into Maggie's arms, and she gently stroked Maggie. Maggie's eyes suddenly lost their viciousness, and she kept coughing up black smoke. She had defeated the demon inside her, but even though the demon had turned into smoke, it wasn't about to let Marge go. The smoke surrounded the mother and daughter. In the end, Maggie used a vacuum cleaner to trap the demon. At 80 years old, Bart still loved pranks. He finally caused the principal to have a heart attack and die. But Bart didn't escape unscathed either. He was crushed by a wheelchair. Homer accidentally wandered into a bank and was shot on sight, mistaken for a robber. After taking a bite of a sandwich, the sheriff choked and died instantly. Maggie remarried Flanders and eventually passed away of old age, becoming Flanders' last wife. Lisa had an epiphany about the meaning of life and ultimately chose to end it all. Ralph became king but was poisoned to death by his own son.
Now I'm the evil king.
Maggie achieved immortality. Bart was struck by lightning and fell into a coma, but he gained the ability to foresee everyone's death.
Oh, what happened? How long was I out?
Flanders' late wife found Bart,
Black Flanders, I thought you were dead.
and her head suddenly sprayed out pages of the Bible. The next day, Bart covered his treehouse in crosses, but still couldn't stop Maude. She kept getting closer to him. In a moment of desperation, Bart pulled out a sock, and the awful smell scared Maude away. Bart immediately consulted a psychologist, who explained that the spirits stayed because they still had unfinished business. So Bart went straight to Maude, asking her what her unfulfilled wish was. Years ago, Maude had been struck by a t-shirt gun Homer fired, but Homer managed to dodge it. The t-shirt ended up knocking Maude down, and she died instantly. Homer, distracted by the allure of free beer, turned down a side street.
Black Flanders says hello.
When he saw Homer knocked to the ground, Maude finally found peace and left. After Bart drank the green liquid, his vision gradually became blurry. However, it wasn't long before he became full of energy. He and Milhouse explored every corner of Springfield. They even covered themselves with tattoos. After a night of wild partying, Bart was completely exhausted. When Lisa pulled back Bart's blanket, he discovered that he had somehow joined the junior campers. He immediately went back to school to return the uniform, but the school bully snatched his clothes away.
Yeah, whatever.
You better pretend you want your uniform back, twerp.
Keep away! Keep away!
Oh no, woe is me, my precious uniform.
During class, when Bart learned that junior campers were exempt from taking tests, he quickly put on the uniform. He headed off to join the junior campers meeting, but to his surprise, the junior campers had to bait the elderly.
Help yourself. Stay above you, clear.
Bart pushed past his classmates. He was about to leave the classroom, but then he heard that junior campers got to play with knives. Bart eagerly joined the junior campers. He used all the animal trapping techniques he learned in class on Homer. When Homer came home from work, he was lured by a pie and fell into a hole again. One day, the junior campers were having a father-son rafting competition. Homer and Flanders were assigned to the same team, but Bart and Flanders worked together so well that it made Homer extremely jealous, so he deliberately lost the map. When they reached a fork in the river, Flanders chose the other path. They gradually drifted out into the ocean. Homer even confiscated their paddles.
In a situation like this, you just relax and let the current take you back
A crow stole Maggie, but her clothes couldn't support her weight. Luckily, Maggie quickly made a parachute out of her diaper just in time. She eventually landed safely in Homer's arms.
Oh, thank God you're okay.
Lisa's breakfast was eaten by a potato. Marge didn't dare let the kids eat genetically modified vegetables anymore, so she started growing her own vegetables in the yard. But as soon as she finished planting the seeds, they were eaten by a flock of crows. So Marge made a scarecrow out of old clothes. But when Marge went outside again, she found Flanders praying with the kids. She chased Flanders away too, but as soon as she left, they continued praying. When Homer came home from work, he suddenly saw a figure in black in the yard. After Homer ran away in fear, he circled around and attacked the scarecrow from behind. In an instant, all the crows landed on him. Homer could even command the crows to steal tasty food for him. Homer became the leader of the crows. His bedroom was even taken over by the crows. Crows were even flying out of Marge's hair, but Homer refused to get rid of the crows. Marge angrily left the bedroom. The next day, the crows saw Maggie trying to fly, so they snatched Maggie away. Fortunately, Maggie landed safely in the end. Homer realized how dangerous the crows were, so he decided to get rid of them. But when the crows sensed Homer's hostility, they quickly fought back. Homer's eyes were pecked by the crows. In the end, he could only rely on marijuana to ease the pain.